the elders who has Parkinson's, they are really shy to show their like shaking hand, but now they are very confident to play the strings. It's building their membranes muscles as well. Tell me, I didn't recognize the clock. My mom tell me like you see the watch, the clock, the longer needle, when it go around the circle, you can stop playing. Then after 8 in the evenings, they switch into classical music to calming people down, because in the evening people are getting like drunk or tipsy after a football match.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another podcast of Jay Thakkar Show. Today we have a very talented guest, one of the most talented I have had till now. So we have with us Dr. Xiaoxiao Hou. I hope I pronounced it.
Yeah, perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. So she is graduating with her PhD. So congratulations on that. And she has been playing music since the age of 3. And she has done a lot of academic work in psychology, in music, and like if you want to know about music in academic sense, or how it affects you in terms of your mental health in psychological perspective, then she is one of the best experts I would suggest you to go to. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So like you started learning piano and Guzheng at 3 and 5. Like how is it like at 3 and 5 I'm like barely we know how to hold a pen or hold a pencil?
Yeah, I think it's quite common in China and also in India, I believe. There are so many, because the society is very competitive, like every single household have an instrument at least. Like at my age, back to the 80s, my parents are very advanced, open-minded. So they brought me very first giant toy piano when I was 3. Then I started to play that. So even I wasn't that tall enough. I need to climb onto the stool to play the piano. But my first connection with music was Tom and Jerry. You know that? Yeah, like the Hungarian Rhapsody. So when Tom, the pianist, wanted to play some music, while Jerry wanted to get some sleep inside of the giant piano, so they have some really interesting interactions. That is my first connection. And so after that, like Chopin's waltz or a lot of classical music. So when later I played piano, I feel the connection with my childhood, the cartoons, the cheerful Jerry wanted to sleep in the piano. Yeah.
Wow. Like, yeah, I remember that episode when, Jerry used to get irritated and like, stop the noise, I want to sleep. Yeah. I mean, who could have thought Tom and Jerry would have inspired? Yeah. That's so brilliant. And like, you passed like top level performance exam at just the age of 10. Like, are you superhuman?
Yeah, thank you for that. Again, it's very, very common in China. Very common, because also in later when I studied music, the psychology of music and music education, I learned like 7 or 6, year 7 or year 6, years old, not year 7, is a very golden age for people to conquer any skills at a master's level. So I studied like piano, play. That is some pen for me as well. So the focus span for children is very short, like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It's also a pen for me when I need to master the performing techniques, the scales, the arpeggios. It's really painful for me. Then my parents are really like push me. Keep disciplined, well organized every day. After the nursery, I come home. Like first thing is wash my hands. Then second, open the piano to play at least 30 minutes or an hour. Then the dinner. Then after that, play the Guzheng. And even the practice time is doubled over the weekends. That's a lot of work, not from me, but also from my parents. They like compromise a lot their time. And they invested not my future as a musician, but as my skills but also thinking, see the word differently. So music is a language. Like I'm triple language, not only Mandarin, English, but also music.
Wow, and like, what's your relationship with it? Because like, you said like in childhood I mean, for a lot of us, it's like Saturday, Sunday, or weekend is more of like go and play and have fun, or even even in the evenings, it's like go play and have fun. But like you said that you were more rigorously practicing music. So how do you look back and see it now? Do you feel like you wanted to play more, or like this was actually what you enjoyed?
It's a mixed, complex feelings. When I was a kid, I don't like that sit in the giant keyboards or the string instrument. But by the way, I also learned how to dance. I dance like Chinese classical dance, then also painting, the oil painting. So I did multiple like art subjects. So my time is filled with practice, like extracurriculum courses over the weekend, practice. But also my father is very cool dad. So he said his philosophy also support me till today. Like he said, you can do your homework anytime. But if you miss a concert, you miss it. So even today, I'm so busy with my dissertation or my research. If there is a really good concert, I would definitely go there.
Wow.
So because we go the concert, the live music is not only about the music, it's about the people connection, and even the cough in the concert, the gig, that is part of the experience. The people breath at the same rhythm, that is a connection. That's a unique one.
Wow. And like what do you experience while you play these instruments? It's like, do you get the memories of your childhood when you play? Because like I understand the technical aspect is a different thing. Like you need to learn and you need to sort of have that discipline when you play the instrument. But it's like it's also like sometimes it triggers some memories.
Yeah.
Because you've also done psychology with it. So like, how does it affect you? And like, do you have a different sort of emotions when it comes to different instruments?
Yeah, so when I was in China, I didn't feel that deep connection as the emotions connection to music. But when I came to the UK, I feel more about that. So as any kids, I can't stay long. So when I was a kid, like 3 years old, my mom told me, I didn't recognize the clock. My mom told me like you see the watch, the clock, the longer needle, when it go around the circle, you can stop playing. Then she back to the kitchen to cook for the family. I don't understand time at that time. So when my mom left the room, I carry my stool and stand up to just make it the clock walk a circle because I don't want to play that long. But after like decades, when I was in the UK, I have more and more deep connections with music. I regret that I should practice more. I wish my parents like forced me more to music.
So like, yeah, I mean, what emotions do you feel like when you play a piano now, a Guzheng now, or a different instrument now?
Always connect to the childhood like memories. Even when I listen to Chopin or some cracks like da 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 da, you know that classical music, the morning tune, I can always connect to the stories or the cartoon I watched. They use that classical music. That is bonded, like forged to our memories. Even till now, I can still remember the stories. That is also like I want to reference a term from psychology called reminiscence bump. So from our like teens or early age, the music or the memories are forged deeper than the recent memories. So when we're looking for find people's really meaningful lifetime playlist, we can always like look back to people's like teenagers or 30s or 20s, find the playlist to trigger their memories.
Wow. And like you've brought Chinese traditional music to UK, and you've also performed in different venues across the UK. So how do you, first of all, like how is that how do you see British audience interacting with the Chinese classical music, and like how do you also find the difference in audience? Like how was it playing in China and how was it playing in Britain?
Very good question. So, I came to the UK not as a musician, but as a music student. I observe others' concert first. I was amazed by how educated the Western audience is. They know how to appreciate the music. They brace at the same level, like they hold their breaths if it is a quiet piece or movement, and they know where to clap. Like not finish a movement, but finish the whole chapter, finish the whole piece. I was amazed. But in China, we have different manner to appreciate your performance. When there's a pause, the people like just clap and cheering in the middle. But here we maintain the musicians or artists, their like unify their emotions. Yes, flow. Yes. And the first time, I still remember my first dementia-friendly concert was in the Victoria Building at Liverpool. I was shocked. It's so close to the audience. They can even see my toes. But in China, we always perform on a higher stage. Their distance, So there is a kind of like not barrier, but the different divide, distance. Yeah. But here's the close connections, not only physical, but really the emotional connection as well. So they can see clearly how my fingers move and how my throats, even my runny nose maybe. Really interesting interactions here.
Lovely. So it's like, which was the venue you felt like or which performance in UK you feel like this is the most memorable one for me?
Oh, I was asked by our previous Vice Chancellor, Janet. So they asked me, where is your most favorite performing venue? It's not about performing for me. The favorite venue is practice room 5 in music department. That is, I spend most hours there to practice. And the 5, in the corner, like with big windows, you can see the outside, see the seagulls singing. And there are 2 grand pianos, a harpsichord and my instrument. So it's kind of very ancient music room. Like my instrument has 100 years history, and harpsichord is very ancient. So that can be very, very, historical atmosphere. So it's very not lonely, but require a lot of self-discipline. There will be ups and downs that I need to conquer the skills or memorize the scores. So that is where I started. I always I will miss that room when I leave Liverpool.
Yeah. So can you tell us about the history of the instruments?
The history. You got me. I can only remember it's a long history back to Qin Dynasty. So Zheng means divide, literally divide. Zheng, it develops from 18 strings, or even shorter, 13 strings, to currently mostly used is 21 strings in pentatonic scale. The instrument is very expressive because the large range of strings we can imitate the cryings, the laughs, even the same techniques like the flowing water, but also can be typhoon, very strong, aggressive sound. So although we have different languages, so we share the same emotions. Even I play a tune, you can definitely recognize the emotions inside of the music.
Yeah, beautiful. And as I mentioned earlier, that your academic is mix of psychology and music. Yeah. So how do you bridge that? And you also mentioned that you were playing for Dementia earlier in Victoria Building. Mm-hmm. So what's that? How do you bridge that? And what connection do you feel that music can bridge in helping us tackling mental health? Because I'm also a professional life coach and I've been in this industry and I've talked to people and I know how bad mental health can affect an individual. Yeah. So I would love to know how you think music can help?
I can share about my journey. So my first journey, my first connection is Tom and Jerry music. Then I play piano. Then transfer to Chinese music system. So it's like bi-musical. It's adapted my mind how think music is. But when I was in China, music is all about like notations, performing techniques, and practice hours, very boring stuffs. Then when I first arrived in the UK, I studied musicology and music psychology in Durham universities. That is where I learned the subject music psychology. So I learned music is not only about the performance, but also in our daily life. It's part of everybody's life. So in the UK or in Western academic world or life world, so they use music in every way. Like maybe you didn't notice that when you phone someone, like the waiting time, they play some very calming tone. And in McDonald's or in I forgot Zara or in some very high street brand, they play very pop songs to matching their branding. So we also have some sonic branding, the terms. Like if I play like Nokia, the tune, you can link to that already, like you know that. So my first dissertation about my research is about can music make you smarter? So that comes from the research on Mozart effect. So a large body of researchers learn about music, learning music or listening to music can boost your IQ. There are by side, not only music skills, but also like academic performance or other side, emotional EQ, something like that. Then the second master, I moved to Leeds, studied how music is used to lower the crime rate. Like in McDonald's, in the big cities, in the city center, before that they play pop music to match in the energetic, the branding. Then after 8 in the evening, they switch into classical music to calming people down, because in the evening people are like drunk or tipsy after a football match. They're really like excited. So music can help people down and also set a kind of psychological barrier to problematic people to commit crime. Then I moved to Liverpool to study music and health. So that is like back to before I came to the UK, my grandmother had living with dementia. So I see how my mom coped with. And as a frightened child, because they gradually not forgot the life, but also their beloved ones. And also sometimes people can be very aggressive, and I really like when I see my mom, really I feel hurted as well. I feel the most suffered is not my grandmother but my mom. Then one day, actually we see like because my grandmother can't recognize us anymore, so we feel like we have already said goodbye in somehow. There's a term called anticipatory farewell. So we can see that they are goodbye in advance. Then one day, I played some radios with old songs from my from her like younger age. Then I see there's a spark in her eyes. Then she started singing that song. I was shocked. Even I'm a musician, I play instrument. I never know there's a link between music and memory. Then I realized there are something we cannot explain, learn from any medical books. Then I studied this topic on music and dementia. But unfortunately, it's a long story, the long journey. So the COVID hit us. I lost all the contact or access to the vulnerable population in the UK. So, and also at that time, my grandmother passed away, but as a very traditional Chinese family, they withheld this information because our own safety is uncertain, and there were no flights between China and the UK. So they wanted me to be safe, and they know my stress with my academic studies. Then I have a feeling that my grandmother not here anymore. Then after months later, my mom like talked to me, not told me the news, but I can see. Then she cried like an oven. My mom is over 70, but she feels like she lost the identity as a daughter anymore, and also herself. It's for any people caring about people with dementia, their loved ones. They have the feeling like really sad, makes us sad and horrible feelings. And after that, because they act as 24 hours carers, unpaid carers, they lost their own identity. So during that period, I wanted to know how can I really help as a researcher, as a musician. I don't have the direct power to invest the medication to treat people's illness, but music can be a hope. So I adapted my research into look into the minorities in the UK, like you. There are so many practices in the UK, like singing for the brain from Alzheimer's Society. They gathering the elders sing together, the old songs, bring the back life. They're alive inside. Even they can't speak fluently English or talk sentences, they can still sing together. That is amazing. That is the power of music.
Wow.
Sorry, that's really long answer.
No, that was really important. It's like, because even, I mean, as an international student, it's not always easy to go through, to do your job, to do your studies, to do your dissertation, everything at once, and it's not always happy. You have some stressful days, and that's like I mean, when I was a child, I loved the music we used to have in the movies in that time, which was much more fast and happy. And like later on during my undergrad, I started listening to music from my father's and my grandfather's generation. And like I started loving that, and now I'm listening to more older music, more music of like 50s and 60s than the modern music. I'm like, I mean, it is also the music, but then I also feel more peaceful with the poetry in that.
Yeah, of course. I just learned that, like a friend told me that I asked him, why did you choose to support Everton? He said, I didn't choose, I just support what my father supported. So it's similar to music. There are some studies to show that children like usually influenced by their older generations. Even you didn't realize, maybe after decades, you started listening, loved the music your parents or your grandparents loved. That's really interesting, like the family heritage or something connection.
I listen to more older music than what my father listens.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but yeah. The thing is, like, it is so peaceful, because the poetry that is being sung in the music, a lot of that poetry is not written during 50s and 60s. It is written like 500, 600 years ago.
Yeah.
So the poetry is old, the wordings are old, and it is taken into the traditional musical instruments, which with technology could have recorded in 50s and 60s, and then created into music albums and songs.
Yeah, there are studies that show that language and music are connected, that like twins or siblings. Music comes from languages. Like their evolutionary theory about the mommy baby talk. Even there's like it's not singing, but something like singing, the tunes and all the bird call all come from.
Because both are sound technically. Like we speak sound in a certain way, it is language, and we hear sound in a certain way, it's music. Yeah, that's why it's also like sometimes when we listen someone just speaking, it feels like we're just listening to music. Yeah,
I noticed that when I was in Durham, like there's a group of scholars studying Indian music. I remember, I realized that the Indian music, just like what you talk, the language, the flow in that, and also the gestures, I don't understand that, but it's very fascinating, charming when you sing to pointing the beats.
Yeah.
And also sitar, it sounds like what you're talking about, like speaking Indian. Yeah.
Because there's this person called Rishabh, and he's very young. He is also a prodigy like you. He started playing instruments at very young age, and he has now played in White House and all those places. And he has started his campaign of like sitar for mental health.
Yeah, okay.
And he plays sitar for the cause of mental health and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to answer that part of the question. I apologize. Then after I finished my PhD in music dementia, I joined a research group like mental health, Emmerich. So I realized there are more and more recognition in creative health. Not only music, but also arts, poetry, reading. So that can support people. So there's a long waiting list to get the treatment. But we call social prescription in the UK, really successful model. So you can join the local groups about singing a choir or a reading group or arts group to support our health. The term creative health is really interesting one, very useful, meaningful one.
Wow, that's yeah. Because I completely understand. And like what's your journey has been in the UK? Because you've stayed in UK for like 6-7 years now.
13 years. Can you imagine? Expose my age now. 13 years.
13 years. Wow. So like yeah. So being lived in UK for 13 years, having done academia for a long time, doing PhD, doing masters in psychology, music, all that stuff, and like how has your journey been, and like how has it affected you, like as a musician, as a person?
It's definitely a rewarding experience, but mixed like with tears and the laughs. So when I was first arrived in the UK, I feel really frightened. Even I learned English since I was a kid, like 7 years old, but I still I can't communicate. I love British accent, very charming, very sexy, but I just don't understand. Then I feel more and more confident along with after I finished my first master in Durham. Then when I went to Leeds, I always think, English is my second language, is my barrier. I'm not that strong, so I will never get high marks because I always make mistakes in grammar or tenses. Then one day I got a higher mark than my British peers. It's not a competition, but I'm shocked. I never expected that. Then I realized language is a tool to support me to communicate myself rather than a competition, like I need to speak a perfect English in order to express myself well. Then along with that, I also grew, like Liverpool is definitely the place that shaped my identity as an adult and as a musician. So I used to music for any musician started to perform in the UK is from our own communities, like perform like the celebrations in New Year. When I get the chances to perform in more professional ones, I got the chance to collaborate with musicians from the world. They even composed new pieces for me and the local quartet. And I learned how music, like even the Chinese classical ancient instrument can be used, the new technologies I've never used. I'm not saying that China is not advanced. Because I'm very single-minded to be developed as a classical musician. But now I'm more open. I'm now confident to call myself as a musician because musician in Chinese is really a big word. Like people always very modest to say, I'm just a music student. But now I'm confident to say that musicians, like we use musician for Mozart, Beethoven. So in that context, musician is really big word. But now I'm really confident, and I'm very proud to say I'm a music educator as well. I love to teach kids or elders. I teach elders to play music instruments. It's not about to only improve the performing techniques, but it's a confidence, a sense of accomplishment. The elders who has Parkinson's, they are really shy to show their like shaking hand, but now they are very confident to play the strings. It's building their muscles as well. So the communities I work with, Chinese well-being and Chinese elders in Liverpool, the Chinese community always seen as a very silent community. We hardly to talk about our needs. But now the elders with music in the choir, they are very, very confident to show their, like our culture, our heritage. And we communicate, we even performed at BBC, Merseyside the other day. They're very proud.
I feel proud of talking to you now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And like, what music would you recommend for anyone to listen in general, to sort of like, if let's say someone is going through a very rough patch, what kind of music would you recommend them to start listening?
You mean Chinese one or the instrument? Anyone. I don't know, I'm a quite classical person, but I'm learning the knowledge about other genres, how that genres, maybe like, there are people says if you are a professional musicians, you can't really enjoy the music, you can't stop analyze the music. And when you listen to music working, I just can't focus. I need to listen to, what is the melody? What is the progression of the chords or something like that. So I would recommend, like people knows themselves, they know how to choose the right music. You know how to choose the right music to run like additional miles, or how can you focus on your reading, or when you, cheer you up, or sadness to match your mood.
I actually cannot listen music while I'm working or studying or any kind of that.
Okay.
Like for me, music or songs is more of like a session. Like if I want to listen songs and do that, so like I know I cannot do anything else. Because I am so into the lyrics and the poetry and the tone, because the songs I listen are not like 3-4 minutes, they are like 15 minutes, half an hour long. And like, so I'm all invested when I'm listening to them. So it's more of like, if I listen to them, it's a session for me. So it's not like if I play them in the background, I can do, not even those background music which are there on YouTube, which like mostly people just play on. I cannot do that.
I understand that. I have the similar feelings. I can't listen to any new music or any short music only lasts 3 or 4 minutes. I can't listen to with the lyrics or fast pace or something like that. I can only listen to like kind of indie or something like from Baroque. It's very calming, and the Bach always make me really calm. And I understand that feelings. My niece is 20 years old. She always plays scroll on the TikTok. It's really short span of focus, like 30 seconds. Makes me really anxious. Very, very busy mind. I can't listen to that.
Yeah, and I'm like, if I listen a good music on short content, I'm like, wait, let me just search the full form and I listen to, then I'll feel more satisfied. I'm like,
So when you listen to music, what are you listening for? Is the music melody or the poetry or the lyrics or the beats or anything?
It's the overall experience. I cannot differentiate between that because it's like I don't have that knowledge to sort of, layer by layer understand it, but it's more the experience. Yes, the lyrics is like, I love listening to lyrics, and that is something which I can, if I want, I can try and focus on lyrics and then enjoy the music, because for the songs I know the lyrics, it's more so like I start singing with it. That's my way of expression of music and tune. But it's like if I'm listening, it's more of like I'm sitting and listening. I cannot do any productive work around it.
Understand that.
What's your music taste or songs?
I wanted to be a cool girl. I used to listen to like classical music. I always like when I'm driving, I always listen to like classical FM, or when I work, I listen to very long, like edited album, like 1 hour, 2 hours. Then my friend in music production introduced lo-fi. Really relaxing. So I started listening to lo-fi, but they have some mixed, like make classical, like lo-fi version. That is really cool. Then now I want to discover more K-pop or rap or something like that. I used to because I'm a classical musician, I always listen to the melodies or how the each voices are progression, and always I can neglect the lyrics automatically. I always listen to melodies. Maybe I was training that way, write down. I can transcribe the music into notations immediately. But I'm learning how to appreciate other genres. I like beats. I think that's really cool. And I want to learn rap and the beatbox. I think really cool. I wish I can do that in my next presentation, academic presentation, and do beatbox on the stage. That's really cool.
That will be so cool. Yeah. So have you? I mean, I also listen to rap music, especially the Indian rap music, because I connect with that language more. Because English is third language for me, so it's I connect to more Indian songs and Indian music. But there's a lot of rap and there's a lot of hip hop going on in Indian music as well. So I listen and I connect with those. But then my point of connection is always the poetry, because all lyrics are poetries.
Yeah.
So it's more of if I don't connect with the poetry, then I don't think I would connect to that song or that kind of music.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to young musicians who are starting their journey?
Maybe not only musicians, young musicians, but also the younger generation of international students or just anybody younger than me.
You are younger, so...
I'm not young anymore. I like to be brave, enjoy every single force, make mistakes. You can learn from that and be resilient. So you can't live a worry-free, challenge-free life. So be resilient. Always be resilient. As a musician, just be confident to show your personalities, because music performance is showing your personalities, and make friends with others, learn from other genres. It's a really learning way. I'm still learning, lifelong learner. So I can see my journey in Liverpool is not only academic research one, but also as a musician, I shape my identity. I'm from a very young, naive music student to now I enjoy every single interactions with other musicians. I had the privilege to perform the composition from Dr. Liam from our music department. He composed one piece for me with technology. I have no idea with the delays, and the piece was premiered in the Tone, the new Yoko Ono Lennon Center, to John Lennon's family. Wow. That's really quite an experience. I'm very proud to show. Also, I play another very traditional classical Chinese piece. So it's an opportunity to show the world about Chinese culture, but also how adaptable, flexible the instrument is to work with technologies, to work with other musicians, and even in the future will be AI music. Who knows?
Yeah. And talking about cultural music, because there's a lot of classical music in India as well. Yeah. So I want to know what is the culture of Chinese classical music? Are there any stories or are there any events which you can tell us so that we can understand more of Chinese?
Yeah, so Chinese music basically based on pentatonic scale. So pentatonic means 5 notes in the octave, like C, D, E, G, B. So there's no think about the piano keys, just the black keys. Oh. So the 5 keys are the 5 black keys are pentatonic. So that is the instrument's unique the Chinese music uniqueness, but also limited in certain, like we need to spare one hand to get the F note or the B note. But with the technology, we can have like change the keys or major or minor keys very, very quick. But for the traditional ones, Chinese music always give people like calming feelings, like linked to religious or linked to the natural sound, like the wind, the flowing water, the stones, but basically about the nature, the love, the emotions. My favorite piece is Butterfly Lovers. It's kind of Chinese version of Juliet and Romeo and Juliet. So the love stories, you can hear the very sad or the passionate love between the two. And you can see it's really similar because the death of someone, the couple, the sadness, the very painful depend in the music. I would love to play that music for you and show like our
Sure, we would love to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
We would love to hear that. And like if you get just only one musical instrument to perform for the rest of your life, what would that be?
I would love to choose Guzheng because it really, firstly, is expressive. Like I can play any like emotions with the instrument, but also so many possibilities with that. I can be very traditional, classical. I can be rock. I can play Adele on that. I can play the adapted classical Western music repertoire on that. But I think Chinese traditional music is under my skin. It's always like, maybe when someday I had dementia, please play some Chinese music. You can definitely like alive me, like trigger me, my deep memories.
I hope that doesn't happen. So like that's all the questions I had. Like, do you have any questions for me?
I had always like I can't stop talking with you. Like really, we have a great hit the first time we met. I'm really grateful that you having me, and I really enjoy the conversations as always. And I appreciate you send me the list of the questions. It's like a lot of work. You understand me. I think you understand more about me than my sister does, sort of. Like my childhood and also the deep cultures. I admire your motivation to do this podcast. Can you talk about why do you want to start this podcast? And you're very brave to talk to different people.
No, I'm just following your advice of talking to different people, making friends.
Okay. Okay, but not everybody can make this effort to bring the so professional devices to record, to make some notes, the semi-structured interview, and you need to spend time to editing. That's a lot of work.
I mean, I can only do this because I have like good people around me, and one of them is you. So it's like, no, genuinely, it's like, because when I came here, I actually stopped doing podcasts when I graduated from my undergrad physics degree. Is because I had 1 year's gap. I did a corporate job for 1 year, and I wanted to talk, but podcast was actually a good source for me to talk and learn, because I used to talk to people who are more valuable than me, people who are very expert in very different wide range of domains. And like, if I want to talk, if I want to make connections, it's better to talk to people who are actually better than me, who know a lot than me. So it's like I'm also making friends, I'm enjoying talking to them, but I'm also learning side by side, because I always wanted to learn and know about a lot of different things. And that's how I I sort of started my journey of podcasting, to talk to people. And now I also have a sort of vision into podcasting, is like I want to go against this norm, which is usually now in the market, is like you don't need a university degree to be successful. And I'm like, you don't know how cool academics are. Like, see here. So it's like, people don't know what academia can do to them. It's like in world of business, entrepreneurship, making money, and the capitalistic ideology, you don't understand these aspects of mental health, of actually going through rigorous failures just to get one thing right that can actually change the lives of many. But we go through a lot of rigorous failures just to be able to get to a good thing, because I'm trained in physics. So like I was made I was aware that how many failures to go through just to be able to get one good invention. And like I know that's what academia goes through, that and that is sort of a skill set. Like if there's a good successful person, they'll know the importance of failures, they'll appreciate failures, they know how to support, they know how to provide, how important is infrastructure just to grow. And I think that's why I want to push more academia to people, and also it's sort of uh, a digital library for anyone who wants to know and understand about a particular field. So like if anyone who just is thinking to start their journey on music and psychology, or even in music in general, they can listen to this, they can know that okay, there's one person who has done that, and if she's sharing her experience, then I can also, sort of make my career work in a certain way. I can select my university, I can select my degrees, I can select the topic of my research from this, and maybe they can become the next big personality.
Yeah, and I want to back a differ. You said people better than you. You must have something better than others. It's not about competition. It's about differences. We learn from the differences. So after the decade I spent in the UK, I learned how to appreciate others and also the differences. It's not the good, the bad, but the differences. The difference is a good thing. And Liverpool is definitely the place that shaped me as a human being. I loved the sentence like shown in the management school. It says Liverpool changed you so you can change the world. It's definitely like under my skin. I love that. I will carry Liverpool spirit with me anywhere in the world.
Yeah, because I think Liverpool is also a place which has the oldest Chinese community in the UK. And I'm sure you must have been there. You must have interacted with a lot
No,
of
not
them.
really. Until I did research with elders from China and also Greater China area like Malaysia and Philippines. Or China is a word. And also, we use minority ethnic minorities or BAME term, but we are so different. China is vast, so we have different languages even between the cities next to each other, and we have different traditions. So we can't generalize people like Chinese or Indian. Yeah, how many languages in Indian? You speak 6?
200.
What? No way!
Yeah, they're like if in India, if you go to 100-kilometer distance, there'll be change in food, there'll be change in language, there'll be change in culture.
Yeah. Same in China. Yes, everybody is unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. And I can see the adapted culture of food, adapted to local like taste. I never eat like sweet sour or something like chicken, something like I never named in China. But it's a mix of culture. So Liverpool is such a multiple cultural places that is very unique. I like to talk to our elders, like from Chinese communities. They mix like a little bit Scouse accent and Hong Kongese, and they try to speak in Mandarin with me. So that's really mixed like taste. That like music to my ears, definitely. Yeah, you can search online. Unfortunately, I don't have instrument in the uni. I don't have
understand.
access to music department anymore. So you can search online. I play both very traditional ones and the contemporary piece. So I hope that can give you a nutshell of this long history instrument.
Sure. You can share me the links,
Yeah,
and
sure, will do.
I can attach to
Yeah,
the video.
will do. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you so
this.
much for your time, and really interesting. I learned a lot from you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
That's
you.
an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Single thing that actually
It's a bee. You must smell like honey.
I don't know.
Gone.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for that.
Gone.
So it's like